Hello, everyone. It is I, Ryan, also known as thelovebat. And so here we are once again, just getting into another draft video here since I got enough gems with my previous deck in the Baldur's Gate draft here. And I got a nice good old 6 wins with a very sweet and unintentional dragon deck. I think we're going to do another Premier draft this time. And I could do best of 3, but I think that maybe Premier Draft is more my comfort zone. I love the best of 3 format and the idea of having like a sideboard, drafting slightly differently and all that kind of stuff, but I just really hate the timers for the matches. You can end up losing a match because you just run out of the timer. You know, you can end up losing the entire thing, and then if you lose because you lose by the timer, then the max amount of gems they can get with 2 wins is just 1,000 gems, and so that's not going to be self-sustaining. So I have a better chance of getting to 4 or 5 wins here, and I don't have to worry about a match timer or anything like that. So, and I sometimes take a bit of time to make my decisions and to try and think things over to myself. So yeah, I figure that the Premier Draft is maybe more my speed for now. Maybe with the next set, Dominaria, I might try some best of 3 a bit more often with that set. So let's head into another Premier Draft with the Baldur's Gate set, and let's see how this deck does. I will go ahead and pause the recording and get back to you guys when the players have filled up all the slots here. So see you in a short bit. All right, here we go. Everyone has showed up. We are ready to go ahead and see what awaits us in this particular deck, and so let's dive on in here and not waste any more time. Alright, so I'm already seeing a couple of pretty nice cards that can definitely be a consideration. Signature Spells, not what we're looking for as a rare. This is more of a constructed card. We can't really reliably at least make an instant and sorcery deck work. If you get the Thyan Evokers as a rare, maybe pack 1, pick 1 or something, then you can build around that, and Signature Spells could be probably likely to wheel around with that card if you want to make it work, but more constructed. Chewinga is great in the blank deck, and it's also just a nice flash creature that can trade off with something that's pretty valuable for the opponent. That's a 2 toughness creature. Skanos is probably going to be my pick here. It's a nice specialized card. It is a dragon, gives a nice pump effect, and it has some potentially pretty powerful specialized effects, so you can do some very cool things with this in multiple colors. What can we hope to wheel around? Chewinga would be good in green-white. War Color for green-red aggro that we lost to last draft, and then Undersolar Myconid is good ramp and fixing and all kinds of things in one card. So all in all, I think we're going to be in a pretty good spot here, especially with what we see in this pack. Drider, not what I'm looking for, even though it would be decent if you have ways to give it flying, such as with the Blessed Hippogriff and black-white. So we can either go green-white, or we can go green-red and just go for a nice, big, beefy creature deck of some kind. Because we have Ambergris and Null Hunting Party. Null Hunting Party, I think, is better than Ambergris, because this thing, along with having double team, it's a strong attacker. You can get in with it if you have early curving out type plays. Kobold Warcaller definitely wants to be in the same deck as this, because if you can give it haste, then you can potentially just hard cast it out and give it haste and first strike in that first turn. And it's a nice beefy card. If we want to go green-white, we would take the Hippogriff here. Maybe it's the safest pick because Skanos can give you lifelink with the white specialized, but I'm going to go for the fun kind of archetype here and do green-red. You can get lots of aggro and beefy creatures out into the field, and we did lose to it twice, I believe, with my previous drafted deck, which was a really strong dragon deck that lost to green-red twice. So let's see how this goes for us. And another Null Hunting Party. I mean, if we end up getting a Liara of the Flaming Fist, then Null Hunting Party is very strong. Owlbear Shepherd would be great too. We have 2 big beefy creatures to help achieve that total of 8 power or greater for the card draw. Kobold Warcaller would be great in this deck to give a big fat creature haste, like the Skanos that gets pumped when it attacks. Owlbear would be great too for the beefy creature with trample and card draw. I think that the Owlbear Shepherd does better for our curve, but I think maybe no Hunting Party is best because it has double team and it's not a legendary creature, so we just get some big creatures here and then we can find ways to ramp into them. Can be very strong. So what to take here? We have a Dragon Shaman with flying. We could splash this. Red has ways to splash, and the Myconid can also fix for the mana as well. We do have one dragon already. I mean, coin, we could also play this, potentially splash for it, but since it's a 2-drop, you ideally want to play red-black with it, or have just other ways of having it just being in your main colors. I mean, we could go red-black as well and just take Sewer Plague or Deadly Dispute, but I think I'm going to go for the card that we could potentially splash. We do have one dragon already. Green has some strong dragons like the Dread the Norms and some other dragons that we could get as well, so... Another Lae'Zel. I mean, would I splash 2 of them is the question. Like, there isn't much else in this pack for us. There are some blue cards, but that's not uncommon. Deadly Dispute would be good if we were going like red-black, splashing the Lae'Zel. We could also splash the Skanos. I mean, that's also a consideration. We could just splash some dragon cards here and go red-black maybe. Menace and +X+O could be interesting. I mean, Deadly Dispute might be the better pick here, but I think I'm going to go with, again, Lae'Zel. It's a dragon. If we end up in a somehow dragon deck again, we can still splash some strong dragons here and just make it work. So we have another dragon here if we want to go maybe blue-red and splash the Skanos. Again, we have lots of high mana cards already, and we don't have any removal, but we have lots of strong creatures. And, I mean, red-blue, we could still presumably splash some creatures here. We could also just splash the blue and find ways to fix for it with, like, Pilgrim's Eye, Undersolar Myconid, and different other ways to fix. Improvised Weaponry might be the safest pick here, but... yeah, maybe I'll just go with the Young Blue Dragon and see if I can make a dragon deck work with the fixing that we can presumably get. Gate would be kind of a nice free card. Choose Your Weapon would be... If we were playing best of 3, this would be an excellent sideboard card, and I might take it over the Gate, but with the strong cards that we already have to seek with the Gate, I think that this is the safest bet. Green-red can do also splashing and fixing for these other dragon cards, and then Gate can grab a nice big fat dragon for us when we're maybe flooding out with lands or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Gate here. Alright, so black seems a little bit open with the Guildsworn Prowler, but we did get some very strong cards in some of these colors. Green kind of dried up a bit, but some of these packs maybe didn't have strong green cards. Maybe we wheel the strong green cards from the second Null Hunting Party pick that we had, where it had like an owlbear and different stuff in it. So I'll go with the Fireball here. It's still a solid removal spell. It's a high curve. We're in a very high curve right now, but we could potentially get some other things to kind of round things out a bit. I guess I'll take the Incessant Provocation. I guess I'll just go ahead and take the rare for the Vault. I don't think I'm playing any of these red cards, so I'll take this for the Vault since it's a rare. I guess Ambitious Dragonborn is a dragon, and we have lots of big fat creatures out that would be able to help get it out. I mean, if we attack with a Skanos and we can kind of make it survive the attack, then we can play this out with a nice big fat creature post-combat, so it could work. Oh, we wield the Kobold Warcaller. Well, that's a very good pickup for our deck, and it gets us a nice low curve creature to work with, so I'm very happy about that. I mean, I guess I'll take the Dragonborn Looter just in case I end up more in blue than green. And Dueling Rapier is like a combat trick that can go... I don't think I'm playing this, but I'll take it anyway. So yeah, Dueling Rapier could be decent with the Ambitious Dragonborn to give a creature higher power, then we can play this and make it bigger, so it's possible. Here's the Thine Evokers I was talking about, and we did wield the signature spells. We don't really have many instants and sorceries, though, to make a good build around with the Thine Evokers, so I don't think that's going to be part of the plan. Draconic Lore will probably wheel, which could be decent since we have a decent number of dragons in our deck already. We can hope to wield the Warcaller from this pack, like we did last time, or the Ambitious Dragonborn or Arcane Archery. I think I'm going to take the Swashbuckler Extraordinaire. It's a dragon card, and it's maybe better than the Ambergris because this can ramp us with the treasure token and make use of treasures that red can provide us pretty commonly. So then we can wheel maybe the Draconic Lore, the Warcaller, Ambitious Dragonborn, or other cards like that. So we'll see. So we have the Draconic Muralist, but it is another 4-drop and we're already in a high curve. But we have lots of dragons in our deck already. We have 7 dragons already that we could pick up with the Muralist. I mean, it's better than the Tiefling Outcasts. This is more of a build-around card where you really need lots of other cards of the appropriate type. Battlecry Goblin is awesome, and it would be great with the Hobgoblin Captain in the same deck, but I think that we have so many dragons already, and it is a 4-drop and not a 5-drop, so it's not terrible for our curve here. And then maybe we can hope to wheel something out of this pack that can be decent for us. This is a bit too high curve for what we're looking for, but there are some cards in here that we can hope to wheel that might be good to get like a 2-drop or a 1-drop. Alright, so we have another gate here, but we might also just take the Rabble-Rouser since it's an early play for us, and it's a very good card. If we get a Liara of the Flaming Fist, then this with Null Hunting Party can maybe get some pretty good value there. Yeah, it's not a dragon, and the gate would be pretty awesome in this deck, but we don't want to have too many tapped lands if I want to try and curve out, so 1 or 2 gates might be okay. But I think the Rabble-Rouser is just best for our deck. There's some good combat type tricks in here with the Rally Maneuver and then Poison the Blade for Death Touch on a small creature could be good, but I think I'll take the Rabble-Rouser here. Alright, Dragon's Fire is looking pretty awesome in our deck. We have plenty of dragons to buff the power. We have 1 Ambitious Dragonborn could presumably buff it. Muralist could buff it a bit. Skanos could buff it quite a bit. So yeah, we have several dragons that could buff Dragon's Fire, and it's just a solid removal spell. Lowers the curve a bit and can buy us time for the bigger dragons that we can try and get out. Not too much else for us here. Improvised Weaponry would be pretty decent for the treasure token and ramp as well. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and just take the Dragon's Fire here. Some good black cards, but I don't think that red-black is what we're going for. Dragonborn Immolator, very nice here. Another red dragon that can be pumped and presumably if you pump it once, then you could give the Dragon's Fire a bit of a buff that way as well, if you want to kind of double cast in a way. Warcaller would be good for our curve and make sure that we can get out some of our sort of really good creatures here on the curve. Give it haste and then attack in with them in that same turn, but Lantern of Revealing would be good too for the fixing, but yeah, I think that I'm just good just taking what we're taking right now. So Immolator gonna be good for our deck. So again, the Lantern of Revealing could be fixing for us, but I think we can take either the Prophetic Prism for the fixing, or we can take Ambitious Dragonborn number 2. I think Prism maybe is more necessary here if we want to play these blue cards. We don't have a Pilgrim's Eye yet. We have 1 way of making treasure right now, and that's it. So Prism draws a card and it fixes, so I think it's worth taking here. I guess we can take another Young Blue Dragon. Again, it makes our curve very high, but there's not really anything else for us in the pack except maybe the Spiked Pit Trap as removal that you can get out, and we don't really have any sacrifice type effects for artifacts, so don't think we're going to get much use out of this, so I'll just take the dragon and be okay with it. Okay, not too much in us, or not too much for us in this pack. We could conjure a gate card, I guess, which would be decent, I guess, but no, I guess I'll just take, I'll take Warriors of Tiamat, just be a dragon-focused deck here still. Alright, so Ambergris on the wheel isn't too bad. Draconic Lore would be great too, since we could make a cheap card draw as well. And we do need a bit of card draw to get to more lands and to get to more action, so maybe the Draconic Lore is better and it's more easy to splash. It's easy to splash because it's a high mana card here, potentially, so... Alright, Hobgoblin Captain is really good for our deck. We need some earlier plays here, and it's very good with the Kobold Warcaller, giving it haste. We get a gate card anyway, so that's very good for our deck. We got lots of dragons to seek out here. I guess I'll just go ahead and take the counterspell here. Doesn't really matter. I guess I can consider this if I really want to try and make it work, but unlikely. Don't think that we're going to splash a looter when we want to get it out turn 1. This, on the other hand, would be worth splashing. It's another dragon, has a pretty good adventure side, and there isn't a whole lot else for us here. Scale Nurture would be great, and it is an early play that does very well for us. It's between this or the Sword Coast Serpent. I don't have any 7-drops here, so it does do okay for the curve as far as like a top-end creature that can also be a 2-drop, saving a creature from removal, presumably. Or we can slow down the opponent to buy us time. I think I'm okay with this. We have the Prism for fixing. We have the Swashbuckler. We could still get some treasures and other ways to fix here, so... when we get another one right off the bat, but I think I'm going to go with the Thrakkus here. Perfect for our deck. And I think that we saw in our last deck with the dragons that this is very, very strong. Owlbear would be great too, but for a 5-drop, I think I'd rather have the Thrakkus that can buff up all of our various dragons here. So Lulu's also a great card, but we're not in the colors for it. Shambling Gas, good for black. If we can wheel the Owlbear, the Sword Coast Serpent, or the Ambitious Dragonborn, that would probably be good for us. So let's go ahead and take this. Don't think that we're playing the Rapier here. Alright, so we have a Young Red Dragon here. Probably better for our deck because the fixing will be sorely needed for our blue cards here. So, and it's just another solid dragon that flies over the top. In my experience, the Ambergris is more just a 3/2 hasty creature that can sometimes give you a good effect, but not always. It's a way to mitigate flood, but I think overall you usually trade it on turn 3 if you play it out turn 3 because they're probably going to have, the opponent has a creature out by then that can block it. So Young Red Dragon, on the other hand, we can fly over the top with the Kobold Warcaller giving it haste. We can get the treasure token fixing, and it's just going to be very good in that respect. So, well then, we have a decision to make here. We have the Innkeeper or the Raga Draga, which was kind of nuts in our previous dragon deck because we do have some 7, we have one 7-drop to get with it that can activate it. If we somehow get a Dread the Norm in the final few picks here, then maybe we can get some more value off of this, but we don't have the Myconid, we don't have the Scaled Nurturer yet in our deck, so it's not quite as good in that respect. I think I'm going to take the Innkeeper here. This may not be the right pick. 4 mana 4/4 baseline is very solid, but we don't have any of the creature mana cards yet, so it may not be that great for this deck, which we had in spades in the previous deck. We only have one 7-drop to play, so might have to just go with that. So choose your weapon can be a good combat trick. We have some flying creatures here, and it could also be very good with Thrakkus if we give a creature trample, then double its power and toughness, and we just force them to either take a bunch of damage or they trade off of a creature that they don't really want to trade off with ideally, but they have to block it. So very, very good. And then I think we're just going to take the improvised weaponry here. Solid pickup, solid removal. Not spectacular, but the treasure will be able to fix for the blue cards, and it'll be pretty excellent all around. This will also be excellent all around. The Pilgrim's Eye for fixing for the blue mana here is going to be quite nice. it means that we might only need to play one blue mana now that we have fixing now in our deck that we need. So let's go ahead and take this. Renekis's Vile Duplication would also be potentially a consideration. And wow, Owlbear wheeling around here, 8th pick. I will take that and be quite happy about it. And we get a Scaled Nurture on the wheel anyway, so this is from the first pack that we were in. I guess the Raga Draga would have made this a lot better, but we only have one 7-drop, so it's not the end of the world passing on the Raga Draga, so... I guess this is the only card worth considering here, so... Ambergris, I'll just take the uncommon. I don't think I'll play Ambergris, though. And then I guess I'll just take the uncommon for the vault here. And these picks don't really matter, so I'll take these. Alrighty then. So other than passing on the Raga Draga, I guess that was the only pick that maybe could have, you know, made the deck a bit better in hindsight, but I didn't have the Scaled Nurturer at the time, so didn't know if I was going to wheel it because it's usually a desirable card for ramping and then dragon deck value, but... And how many dragons do we have? We have 15, so that is quite a high count for the Nurturer and also the Draconic Muralists, and then also very good for the Thrakkus as well, so... Let's see here. Innkeeper's good for the life gain. I like our 2-drops. Ambergris can go. I don't think there's enough value for it here. Pilgrim's Eye, good for fixing. Maybe we don't want to play 2 ambitious Dragonborns. Maybe just drawing 1 in the mid-game or late game is good enough. Then Warriors of Tiamat, we'll get rid of that one since it's not the best dragon that we have. So yeah, we have lots of high mana creatures here. We're going to have to get rid of some of them. It does reduce the dragon value, but I don't think that I need that many islands here. I think we definitely want more green and red. So it'd be 14, that would be 16 lands with that if I wanted to do this for the mana base. 17 lands might be good, but on the other hand, I've gotten kind of killed by the flood in some matches with 17 lands, so I don't think I want to do 17 here. I think I want to do 16 and just rely on the Pilgrim's Eye, Scaled Nurture, Prophetic Prism, improvised weaponry, ways to fix and ramp potentially in some ways. Alright, so we have a couple more cuts to make. No Hunting Party, maybe... I mean, we do have some aggro creatures. We did end up getting a good number of 2-drops here. But I guess we'd only want to attack in with the Rabble-Rouser or the Hobgoblin, I guess. Then maybe the Swashbuckler Extraordinaire could get in there with haste, and I guess the Double Strike if we want to sacrifice a treasure. I guess maybe we're not aggro enough for the No Hunting Party. I mean, it is a great card in a vacuum, but I think that we want things of a high base power and toughness, like for the Thrakkus, for example. And plus, the No Hunting Party doesn't get buffed by the Thrakkus if we attack in, so maybe we cut 1 No Hunting Party. Owlbear is great because the card draw is awesome and it already has Trample at the very least, and it's just a solid card. Young Red Dragon I want to keep for the mana fixing for blue. I mean, I like all the true drops that we have, and Prism fixes. This gives haste to a nice big creature and can allow us to potentially curve out if we have it in our opening hand. What to do here? What to do? Well, we gotta make 2 more cuts, and this is with 16 lands. If I played 17 lands, I have to make 1 more cut. Do we want to splash 2 Lozans? I mean, the enemy might, or the opponent might use removal on it, though. And so we could still presumably play out another one. And it's only 1 blue instead of like double blue, so... Maybe one less young blue dragon could be okay. It is a 5-drop, and it is blue mana, so we can cut down on the blue that we need, basically. I mean, the scry and draw is a nice little effect there, and it's very good with the Lae'Zel, basically, for the adventure value. I mean, I guess that is a consideration. Maybe we just put back the blue dragon and take out the other null hunting party and just get off the null hunting party plan. It's great if you can give it haste with the war collar and everything and get the double team value, but I don't think that we're going to be getting in there early very much to be able to make use of this, so maybe I just have to focus more on the dragons that I have, which I have many of them, so... What is the final cut? I think that one Ambitious Dragonborn is fine. We have ways to... We can pump the Immolator to make it have more power. And then Skanos can pump as well. And it's also a very high power creature with the Specialize. Then we have the Owlbear. And I guess the blue cards we can still specialize with the Skanos to give it the blue ability here. To give something flying and pump it. What's the final cut? Choose your weapon could be cut, but I like the value that it has with Thrakkus to give something really high power, and then we can double it again. Even for the Thrakkus itself, we can double it again, or we can double the Skanos power here, which would be pretty strong if we can give something... maybe trample or something like that, you know? I guess none of these specialized abilities give trample, though. We have essentially first strike, untap it, and then flying. So, what do I want to cut? I mean, I still think this is going to be very good in our deck. We have lots of beefy creatures to use it on. Even using it on, say, the Ambitious Dragonborn, or we can go ahead and double something's power and toughness, attack in with it, maybe force them to chump block, and then we play the Ambitious Dragonborn if we have like 7 mana out, or a way to ramp into it with the Nurturer or something like that. Because then we can make this nice and beefy. And we want to keep our 2-drops, so that way we have enough early plays. I don't know, maybe I can cut one Lae'Zel, because if I draw into another one, then that's a pretty bad situation to have a wasted card in the deck. Yeah, I guess we can go with one less one of those, and then we still retain the majority of our adventure value. We have 2 young blue dragons, so that's 2, 3, 4... Yeah, we have like 4 adventure value type dragon cards. That after we do adventure, then we can play them out as dragons. So this is still good enough to carry one of these in the deck, and I think that'll do fine. Alright, well, I think this is going to be the deck. I think that 2 blue is okay, since we do have double blue, and we also have a decent chunk of blue cards that we want to be able to play. And then if we need to go ahead and get red or green mana, we have the Pilgrim's Eye, we have the Prism. So, and then we have 2 gates in red, which admittedly maybe we don't want to play 2 gates. Maybe 1 gate is fine, so that way we have a better chance of playing out the War Collar turn 1 with our opening hand, but I guess getting it out on turn 2 isn't so bad either. I mean, the gates are going to be able to get us these nice big dragon cards into our hand potentially, or maybe we end up seeking the Mirrorless, and then we can get it out, trade it off for another creature, then get another dragon. So yeah, other than the War Collar, everything else in our deck I think would be good to seek in some way. They all give us some kind of value. This can draw us a card and replace itself. This grabs another land. It can be a chump blocker. Lots of good things that we can get in this deck. So let's go ahead and run it this way, and then we'll do the good old green-red surprise dragons. Surprise Dragon version 2. Or maybe we do V2. Because this is the second sort of Surprise Dragon deck that I played. So let's see if that fits into the title there. Alright, it fits. So green-red, more dragons, splashing a bit of blue. We have some ramp and fixing, so we'll see how this works out for us. And I'll go ahead and get into the games, and I'll see you guys round 1. Alright, Dragon deck, take 2. Let's see how we do this time. We got 6 wins with our last Dragon deck that we drafted. Let's see how many that we can get with this one. Alright, so this is a definite keep. We can get out the, I guess, Prosperous Innkeeper turn 2 would be the best. And then we can go ahead and get the Swashbuckler out turn 3. And then we can do turn 4 both of these. I think it's good. We could also do the Scaled Nurture turn 2 and then the Swashbuckler turn, or these, we could do this turn 2 and then the Swashbuckler turn 3 for more life gain. Since we would gain more life than with the Innkeeper. Yep, let's go ahead and do this. We'll do the Nurture turn 2, and if they have removal for it, then so be it, but so far green would mean that they would need to probably have a creature onto the field for them to be able to remove the Nurturer, so looks like our opponent is looting through their library to try and find something good. Okay, another land is okay. We only have 1 red mana, but because we did it this way, let's just go ahead and do this. We can do this Prosperous Innkeeper first, and then we can go ahead and do this, and then we can get the treasure token and then play out the Swashbuckler anyway this turn, and do this. Gain the life, and then we gain another life from the Innkeeper, so this is probably the best way to do it. We end up getting another treasure token anyway, so nice little curve out that we have going here so far. It looks like it's maybe more of a control-y type deck. And Breath Weapon, probably not worth it for them there. They maybe didn't read the card. I mean, there are some cards that I didn't really read properly either, so maybe that was just a case of they just forgot to read the card properly, so I think we do Young Red. I guess we could do the token, but then we just kind of waste one of our tokens anyway doing that, so let's attack in. We're not going to use Double Strike yet. Then I think the way that we're going to do this is we're going to tap this. And then, yep, let's go ahead and do all of this. And then we can do hard cast the red dragon here. And then we'll play out the Hobgoblin Captain with our treasure. Get things under the field. We have 3 creatures that Breath Weapon will not be able to affect if they have another one. Looks like they may have a bit of a dragon deck going themselves, so more power to them. I love dragons myself, so. And I guess Dragon's Fire can finish it off if we want to attack in here. Gate isn't bad. Let's attack in. We don't get the pack tactics here, but it's okay. And we'll do this to finish it off. Decline. We don't need to reveal a dragon. So we trade with that, which is okay. If I had pack tactics, it would have been better because then I could have killed it for free, but just want to go ahead and take care of their board here so that way we can get out something big and then attack in. Yeah, I can put it on top, that's okay. Plus I can gain some life here with the Scaled Nurture tapping for it, so I'm okay with that. So we've gotten the life gain, and then we have our treasure token for the fixing, and wow, that's good timing on the treasure. So how much mana do I have? I can't do the adventure side, because then that would mean I have to do double blue to play this out. I think I do this, and then this, and then hard cast this way. Gain the life, do all that, attack in, and we're just kind of whittling down the opponent right now. They have 4 cards in hand, but we have a pretty good board, and if we top deck anything good, then the Scaled Nurture can... If we top deck anything other than the Serpent, then we're in pretty good shape here. We don't have the double blue for the Serpent right now, so that would be the only bad card to top deck right here. We could seek something with a gate the next turn. That's going to be a nice... Yeah, that's going to make things a little bit difficult, so we're just going to go ahead and seek with this. Thrakkus is a pretty good seek, so I'm pretty happy about that. So we don't want to block this, and we don't want to attack into it either, so we're going to stay back here and not ruffle too many feathers here. If we draw blue mana or a Pilgrim's Eye, we're going to be okay-ish, because then we have a way to play the Lae'Zel. Young Red Dragon, we already lost that, so we don't have that for the treasure token. I guess if we get an improvised weaponry here, that would be maybe the best draw for us, because then we can take care of the Young Red Dragon on the field. Alright, well there's our blue mana. So if we get the Lae'Zel out, or the Lae'Zel, I don't know how you pronounce that. If we get the Lae'Zel out, the next turn we can do the Thrakkus, which is a 5 mana value. And then we can kill the Wrathful Red Dragon. It would kill one of our dragons in return, but it's probably worth it. And it's really the only thing that we can do that's really worth doing here. So let's go ahead and tap this for one of the mana. And we'll tap that. Play the rest out. Gain some life. Hold back here. We don't want to activate the Wrathful Red Dragon more than once here, so... If they have removal, they probably hit the Lae'Zel with it. But they only have 2 cards in hand, so they may not have it. So I guess the question is do I want to go ahead and do the Thrakkus, then pay the ward cost to kill the Emerald Dragon, or not? No blocks, because then they really get us really bad here, so just have to rely on the Thrakkus to kill it, I think. So I guess the question is, do I want to kill the Emerald Dragon first and then attack into them? And just try and race them a bit here and not block the Wrathful Red Dragon at all? And if I draw another big dragon, then I could potentially just activate Lae'Zel again. I do have a number of 5-drops that can still kill it, and if we kill the Emerald Dragon now, then I can attack in here pretty easily, so... Yeah, let's go ahead and just play the Thrakkus now. Let's gain the life here to make sure I do that properly. let's kill the Emerald Dragon, and we have the mana to pay for this, so we'll go ahead and do this. Pay 2, auto pay. Alright, so that's whenever you have any dragon, so okay. Maybe I should have killed the Wrathful Red Dragon first, but they went for the face on that one, so that's interesting. Let's attack in here. Do I want to attack? Because then if the young red dragon is dealt damage, then they can kill another dragon, presumably. Yeah, maybe I don't attack here, actually. Maybe I just attack next turn when I have the Thrakkus value going on. And then I hope to top deck another dragon to kill the Wrathful Red Dragon. So yeah, that was maybe a misplay by me. I probably should have killed the Wrathful Red Dragon first, and then just waited for the Thrakkus value to kick in for the other two dragons that could block. And then if I get maybe young Red Dragon wouldn't be enough to kill the Wrathful Red Dragon, but improvised weaponry still wouldn't be bad here to kill the young Red Dragon. And get a treasure for the Swashbuckler Extraordinaire that I can give double strike and get in for the win, maybe. Okay, well that's a pretty bad draw. We don't want to flood into lands here. So what happens if I attack in with everything but the Scaled Nurture? I can double the power of many of my creatures. But then if they don't block with the Wrathful Red Dragon, they can just have it trigger a bunch of damage that goes to the face, and then they can maybe kill me next turn. To any target that isn't a dragon. Okay, so they can't kill my dragons, but they can hit me to the face here. Yeah, I forgot to read the card properly. I guess maybe it wasn't really a misplay before. Maybe I just need to go ahead and read the cards a little bit better here. So, because I am a dragon deck, the Wrathful Red Dragon doesn't deal a bunch of damage to my other creatures here, basically. So, if I attack in with the young blue dragon and the Thrakkus, then maybe we just go and attack in with everything here and hope for the best. Double the power of everything. And then they can block the Swashbuckler with the Wrathful Red Dragon, I guess. I don't know, maybe I could have held back the Lae'Zel for a chump blocker, but they might kill us anyway. So how many times is this going to trigger anyway, and how much damage will it deal here? Alright, well, I think that's GG's here. No, damn, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but I gave it a try. We were kind of in a tight spot there. Had we not top decked a land and we had another blocker, then we could have maybe gotten there, but even if we top decked the Sword Coast Serpent, then we could return the Wrathful Red Dragon to their hand for 1 blue mana, and that could have won us the game as well. So tough game, but that's the way it goes sometimes, and we'll just head on into game 2 here. Alright, and I'll go ahead and pause the recording, and I'll be back for game 2. See you then. Alright, round 2. Ding ding. I can play the Pilgrim's Eye turn 3 with the Nurture, and then I can get my red mana here. And then turn 4, I can still ramp into the Immolator, or... yeah, Immolator, we can still do that in turn 4 with the Nurturer, so... Pilgrim's Eye, I think, makes this a keep. Let's see how this curve out works for us and see if it works out or not. Alright, Scaled Nurture can at least block the Unicorn turn 1 or turn 2, I guess, here. If they attack in, I have to assume that they have a Combat Trick or the Patriarch's Humiliation to finish off my Scaled Nurture. Okay, they still can't attack in here, but I guess they might be like a double team type deck, or maybe they just have this as a random equipment for the Caddy Bree, which is green-white, so the green-white Caddy Bree, 2 mana, gets buffed by equipment card that we played or splashed a couple decks ago. Speaking of a couple decks ago, let's go ahead and just do the good old choose your weapon. Doesn't do anything for the Nurture here, so let's just go ahead and get out another land. Take action. And let's go ahead and get one of our blue mana here. And no attacks. Yeah, we just want to make sure that we have some blue, so that way we at least get the young blue dragons played, and then we can also at least do the adventure side of the Sword Coast Serpent if we draw into it here. The only double red card that I think that we have is the Fireball, so that's maybe the only bad draw that we can get. Okay, land isn't too bad here. I guess the question is, do I want to go ahead and play out the Thrakkus and ramp into it now? And then just have a blocker for the Soldiers of the Watch, and then even if they pump with the Unicorn, then they're not going to be able to pump it up enough to kill the Thrakkus. Yeah, I think we just go ahead and play out the Thrakkus now. Even if they have the band together, they can't kill it as is, so let's get into one. So they have to play another creature, then on the following turn they would have to cast like band together to kill the Thrakkus. Patriarch's Humiliation would need 2 more creatures to kill the Thrakkus. I guess there could be like Minimus Containment, but even if that's the case, then we have just more mana to work with at the very least, so it's not terrible, I guess. I have to imagine that they're thinking about, what do I do with my removal here? Do I kill the Scaled Nurture? Do I use Minimus Containment on the Thrakkus, maybe? Or you can flicker that in and out randomly. I mean, if you're going to flicker something, wouldn't it be better to do the Soldiers of the Watch after you attack? So that way you can get the double team value for it right away. I mean, that's what I probably would have done, and then you still have it safe from dying, and it's a blocker still. Not really sure what that Pegasus accomplished there. If I was going to do that, since it's an instant, you attack in with Soldiers of the Watch, and then you get the double team activation, then you flicker it in and out to save it from dying. And then, even though you may not be able to play out the second Soldiers of the Watch this turn, at least you get the double team value now instead of doing nothing with it. And then it's untapped when it returns to the battlefield, and you have it for blocking, so that's what I would have done in their scenario, but that's just me. So if we play out a land here, then we end up having essentially 6 open mana. It wouldn't be enough to accomplish anything here, however, so we're just going to do this. And then there's a fly that's trying to fly in my face and be really annoying. Let's see. Do I attack in with a Thrakus or not? I think that we do. Let's get in there and force the issue. They can chump block, but I have trample, so I still deal a bit of damage to them. If they don't block here, I could go for choose your weapon and just get in there for lots of damage while they don't have open mana to do anything about it. So I think I'm going to do this. Get in for 13, put them on a really tight clock here, force them to do something really pressing. So with 4 mana, there's only so much that they can do. So the next turn I can play the Immolator if I don't draw anything else and get another land out as well. If we draw the Sword Coast Serpent, then we can play out our blue mana, remove one of their creatures from play, and then we can get in trample damage to just keep on smacking them. Seems like they may be a bit mana screwed here because they only have 3 lands. It looks like they missed some land drops, so they're in a tough spot. I'm okay with this. We just prevent some damage. Aren't really any 1 mana tricks that I know of that could really do anything here. They could play out a white mana, then do Patriarch's Humiliation, but if they do that, they would want to save it for like the Thrakus that would kill them, so I mean, they're dead on board. The Flaming Fist Dustguard can't really prevent enough damage here. We can get in for 7 next turn and it prevents 1 damage, so let's do this. And we'll just attack in here and see how they react to this. With Trample, we kill them if they don't have anything in their hand for 1 mana. They could have something, but if they do, then we're still in a great spot, so it looks like we win! Yay! We just get there. If they had a Steadfast Paladin, then maybe it's a different story. They can at least save themselves from dying, but with the lifelink and everything like that. But yeah, it looks like our opponent got mana screwed there, and they couldn't get any more lands out than 3. So, I mean, they did look like a lower curve deck, and they did make some mistakes. They should have flickered out the Soldiers of the Watch when they activated Double Team or something like that. Okay. At least that's what I would have done in their position to try and get maximum value with the curve that I must have had and the mana screw that I had. It would have put them 1 turn ahead because that was like a wasted turn for them with their mana, so that was kind of a big mistake on their part. Anyway, let's go ahead and go to Game 3 here, and I will see you guys all then. Alright. Match 3. Let's see how this one goes. We have a nice little angel avatar for our opponent there, which looks quite nice, I must say. My kind of girl, as it were. Nice armored woman. Looks pretty beautiful to me, so. So yeah, this is a pretty decent hand. Prism draws a card, and so does the dragon. We can do turn 2 Prism, turn 3 Young Blue Dragon with the fixing from the Prism. And then hopefully we draw into something at the turn 4 or so. looks like they're going to get some of that loot action going on in their green-blue so far. It might be yet another dragon deck. This will be like the second dragon deck that we faced so far, and we are also sort of a dragon deck, so what to do? I think we just go Prism here, draw a card, have the fixing for the another card draw with the young blue dragon, and never look back. So I think what we do here is we go ahead and play the War Caller, and then we go ahead... do I want to do the young blue dragon before I give it haste is the question. I think we just have to play everything now and just make the best use of our mana. This is sorcery speed, so I just need to draw now. Can't do it at the end of the opponent's turn. I think that's a good draw. It's a good creature to give haste as well, since we can get it out next turn. Catti-brie is a pretty good creature for them. It's going to be a pretty decent blocker for some of our lower curve type things, so... Yep, it blocks the Swashbuckler Extraordinaire very well. Let's go ahead and give the Immolator haste. Then let's play it and attack. They could have Undersimplify here, but if they use it on the Immolator, then I'd be okay with that. If they have a combat trick here, then so be it. We at least get the buff to our next creature, which Young Blue Dragon would be pretty good, even though this has reach and first strike. Young Blue Dragon can still fly over the top if they don't have another combat trick to make use of with Catti-brie. So we can play out Young Blue Dragon or the Owlbear. Owlbear is a better blocker for our purposes, but on the other hand, I think I want to give the Young Blue Dragon the power buff. Kind of a mishmash of a deck here, but they're kind of kicking our ass on the other hand, so... Let's see, I think we do mana number 5. And then I could give the Owlbear haste and just attack with it. Then get out the Young Blue Dragon as a blocker next turn. Yeah, I think that maybe we have to try and do that. Could also give the Rabble-Rouser haste and give the double team value now and then play out the Extraordinaire to try and block them. Tough choice. I think we just do the Owlbear. Give it haste, play it out here. Have a 6/4 creature with trample out on the field. If they had an Undersimplify in their hand, that would have been very, very bad for us, but I think that this is still what we want to do. Yeah, so I'm okay with that. It only does it until end of turn, so it's not like a permanent debuff. Only prevents 2 damage, so I'm okay with that. We still have a good amount of action in our hand, and we do have 1 flying creature for the Cloak of the Bat here, so... That's kind of an odd attack, though. I mean, they get a 1/1 counter out of it, but... Still kind of an odd attack. So if we play out the Extraordinaire, we can give it haste if we really want to and attack into them. But I think the Young Blue Dragon as a blocker might be better. So that would kill the Young Blue Dragon with the first strike in there, so I think we have to get in on the ground. So I think that we go ahead and play a gate here. Give the Rabble-Rouser haste to get in here. And then we can get the double team value out of this as well. And then I'm going to get this out into the field, and then we can attack with this and get double strike on that. We get double team on the rabble rouser, so yep, let's sack the treasure here. And we'll give the trampling owlbear double strike. So the Flaming Fist officer is going to kill the rabble rouser here, but at least they were forced to do something about that with the chump block. So Caddy Breeze not going to be enough to get them there this turn, even with the 1/1 counter buff. If they have Choose Your Weapon, they win, doubling its power, but it seems like they don't have it. So I can give that haste. They might have Undersimplify mana out there, though. Play that out, and then what do I want to do here? I can give Skanos haste. Young Blue Dragon could also be a play, but I think I have to try and get in there and win the game now. Owlbear has Trample, so it would get over the Flaming Fist officer if it blocked it. I think we have to give... yeah, we have to do haste pre-combat, and if they have a counterspell, we're in trouble. I could attack in here for lethal. Yeah, let's just go ahead and try and attack in for lethal here. If they have a counterspell, this is the best way to play around it. It's just attack now. If they had like a Dread the Norm to untap the Cadibri, they would have gotten us there, but Owlbear with Trample might get us there. Okay, so if they're going to do that, let's see if we can maybe get some removal and draw some with this. Dragon's Fire could win it for us if we draw into that. So let's do this now. Okay, as I suspected, they have a counterspell. Okay, so I think that we can't really do anything here, so we'll play this out and hope that they just decide not to attack. So yeah, they had both Wild Shape, Combat Trick, and Counterspell for that. And they got us, so they had what they needed in the right moment. Prism fixing saved them there for the double blue, so really odd deck. I don't think it's necessarily a good deck that we just lost to, but they had what they needed in the right moment, and I could have tried playing around it by just playing the Rabble Rouser with haste and attacking him with that, and having the potential pumping effect to get us there. Maybe in hindsight that's what I should have done there, but you win some, you lose some. You sometimes make the unoptimized plays. I probably should have just done the Rabble Rouser there to give it haste, play it for 2 mana, then have mana open for pumping it like 3 times to get in for the damage that I might have needed. So yeah, I'll go ahead and get back to everyone for the next match, and I'll see you then. Digital Kong, quite a name there. Okay. This is be a risky hand to keep. We have no red mana. Innkeeper does make a treasure token for some red mana. We have plenty of red sources of mana, and we have a Pilgrim's Eye that we could draw into, as well as the Prophetic Prisms, so I think we're going to keep this and risk it. We at least get one treasure out of the Innkeeper, so... Alright, perfect. That gets us our red mana on turn 3, so I'm quite happy. And we gain a life with it with the Innkeeper, so... Nice little double whammy value there. Looks like they have some ramp for themselves, and now we have our red mana. I still think I dig up another red mana here, because we need the double red for the fireball, so... There we go. And no attacks. So instead of killing the Nurturer, I probably just kill whatever they play out instead. I can do a Fireball next turn if they play something that's nice and fat, but that's also pretty good too. Choose your weapon could be good with the Hobgoblin Captain for the pack tactics value. So I think what we do here is we do Dragon's Fire on the Shepherd. We just do it now before combat. And then we play Hobgoblin Captain and pass. And we'll get in for one with the Pilgrim's Eye. We try and wear them down as best we can. Plus it offsets a bit of the life gain that they might get from the Scaled Nurturer. So green-white could be life gain, could just be nice big creatures and different things like that with ramping. Owlbear Shepherd is good, but they don't have anything that gets them to 8 power yet. They would need 2 more creatures probably to activate that. Rabble-Rouser is a decent draw. I think that maybe we just do the Fireball. I think what I want to do is just do this. Fireball the Owlbear Shepherd. Do it pre-combat so they can't just like block it or anything like that. Or they can't make a block first. Do it while they don't have any open mana, and then we attack into Soldiers of the Watch and see if they want to trade with the, any of our creatures before they get the double team value. I'm okay losing the Innkeeper, but trading with Soldiers of the Watch before they get the double team value would be great there, so I'm okay with that. Then they can attack in for 2 and get double team, but even if I blocked these Soldiers of the Watch, and in this case I wouldn't have been able to block it anyway, so... So yeah, they get in for some damage, they get the double team, and then now they have a 4/4, but... I could pass the turn, wait for them to attack, and then use the Sword Coast Serpent, and then I can do... I could just do Choose Your Weapon this turn, and then do the Pack Tactics attack in. Because then they can't really block it. Yeah, I could do Choose Your Weapon this turn, then on the opponent's turn, I can do Sword Coast Serpent on maybe the Paladin. They would get extra value off of the Paladin, but it would out-tempo them pretty well, I think. So, I think we just do this. Then we get in over the top here, and let's get in for some damage. If they chump block, that's okay too. It has first strike, so they can't really do a very good block here. And end the turn. We'll keep the Sword Coast Serpent up, so that way if they tap out here, then we can do that on the Devoted Paladin. Then just get in for a bunch of damage next turn. If we're lucky anyway. If they attack before playing anything, then I might not want to use the Sword Coast Serpent on the Paladin. Alright, so that's a good thing to use the Sword Coast Serpent on, so I think we just let the Paladin get in there for 4 if they want to attack. Let's do this on the Ranger Squadron that costs them 6 mana and slow them down quite a bit. So I don't have quite enough mana for the Sword Coast Serpent, but I can do the Skanos this turn. I can do Skanos and attack of it next turn to pump up like the Hobgoblin maybe with first strike. And I can also potentially double team next turn with the red side to give it first strike, I believe. Yeah, 5/5 first strike would be very, very strong. So we just hard cast this. Gain life, get over the top for 1 damage, try and whittle them down. Then we can go ahead and specialize with the Skanos into red next turn if they don't remove it from the field somehow, if like band together. Dread the Norm's a good one. Yeah, Dread the Norm's a good one, but we still might be able to get in there with the Skanos. Hobgoblin Captain with first strike is still going to maybe get them pretty good, as well as the Skanos with first strike. If we attack him with the Skanos after it's pumped and give it +X/+X, then it would be like a 10/5 first striker, I think. No, yeah, 5/5 for the red side, and it'd be a 10/5 first striker. Or we can play the Sword Coast Serpent now and get a fat blocker out there, then attack in like next turn. Yeah, that might be the safer play. Then we specialize next turn, and at least we have this on the field. Attack over the top for 1. So they could play the Ranger Squadron, but it's not the best blocker for them, so... so we need to play a non-creature spell to make that unblockable and then get it in with the Skanos pump effect, so... Okay, Mirrorless isn't bad, and what's the green specialized side do? Oh, I skipped over it. You only untap something, so... Yeah, untapping not quite as effective here because they probably just trade off of a creature that attacks, so... Specialize is 4 mana. They only have Ranger Squadron in hand, so I can... Yeah... Rabble Rouser I think I want to discard for the specialized value here. So if I do that now, I can get in with a nice big fat Skanos, but then they can double block with the Dread the Norm and the Paladin, and I only kill one of them. So yeah, let's play the Mirrorless now. We have a blocker that can trade and get value off of. I think that we can play the Rabble Rouser, then do the double team by just attacking with it like next turn, I guess. Hope they don't have removal for it. Then if I draw a young red dragon or a young blue dragon to play a non-creature spell, then Sword Coast Serpent can get in for the win. I'm pretty sure that the adventure side counts as a non-creature spell. So let's see, Patriarch's Humiliation will at least get rid of the abilities of the Sword Coast Serpent, even though it wouldn't kill it right now. I guess if they play the Ranger Squadron, then Patriarch's Humiliation, they could kill the Sword Coast Serpent. Band Together could also kill it if they have that, but then they can't play the Ranger Squadron this turn. We're looking at cards. We're looking at lots of cards. Look at all these cards. Okay, that's not bad, actually. I mean, it's not the worst thing, I guess is what I want to say. So, a 4/2 flyer that can get in over the top. Do I want to specialize with the Skanos? Yeah, I guess we do the Lae'Zel, then we can use the treasure token to play another Rabble Rouser after attacking. Must attack in, get the double team value. And then if we attack with the Hobgoblin Captain and the Muralist, we can do Pack Tactics, but they have 2 creatures that can easily block the Hobgoblin Captain. I think we do it this way, get the double team so that way we can still do the specialized effect here. So we can pump 3 times, I believe. You know what? I'm going to do it. Let's go ahead and do... activate that. Activate again. And then we do treasure and red. Activate again. Get rid of the paladin. Looks like they played around a combat trick and they didn't block with the Lenorm there. So that's a worthwhile trade. I'm quite happy about that. We can't quite play out Prism and Lae'Zel this turn. We could specialize with the Skanos now, and they can't have an easy double block for it with its first strike. That's also a flyer that can block the Ranger Squadron. I think that maybe we just do the Skanos and attack in now with the Hobgoblin Captain. They only have 1 mana up, so unless they have Patriarch's Humiliation, we kind of get them pretty good here. And then we'll discard the Rabble Rouser. And let's go ahead and attack in with the Muralist as well. That can easily trade off. Then I think we want the Skanos to have first strike, or it has to be another attacking creature. I guess the Hobgoblin Captain is pretty good with first strike here. We'll use the Dreadnought to block the Skanos. I'm still okay with that. Hobgoblin Captain getting in there for lots of damage is quite nice. And then Draconic Muralist can still get us another Dragon card at some point, so we just need to try and clear their board here and break the board state. Now we have 7 mana for doing multiple plays in a turn here, potentially, so... It was kind of risky to attack him with Skanos there, but I need to kind of clear their board as much as I can here. Try and get in some damage. Draconic Lore is great, because we have the Draconic Muralist to make it cheaper. I guess the Lae'Zel just still doesn't do much for us here, so... Let's see what we can draw. Okay, so we could go ahead and do Gate plus the Nurturer, then we get life gain by playing the Lae'Zel. I'm cool with that. And then no attacks. We don't really have any good attacks right now. Draconic Muralist, I think it's maybe better just to hold off as a blocker right now. We'll leave the Pilgrim's Eye out there for now still, just in case. They do get double team value. Owlbear's a great draw. I'm quite happy about that. So how much mana do I have now? 4, 9, 10 with the Nurture, so I can play both of these in this turn. Yep, so let's go ahead and play out, maybe we play the Owlbear first, and then we can go ahead and play Lae'Zel next. We see what we draw first. Dragonborn Immolator is great with the Lae'Zel. We can deal 4 damage to a Ranger Squadron, I would think. We can also just do it straight to their face, and then we can do like a surprise straight to their face damage there as well. I think maybe that's what we want to do. Let's do this before combat. Just get it out now. If we attack with the Muralist, then we can get some more Lae'Zel value, actually. Maybe I just force the issue, attack now, then I can play another dragon next turn. Yeah, I think that's what we do. Even if they block it with the Norm. Okay, so they're going to get a dragon too, but I'm okay with this trade. We have them dead on board to the Lae'Zel by playing dragons, so they have to have removal in their hand for it. Dread the Norm is kind of irrelevant here. Let's take action, and then... How much mana do we have? I think it was 10 with the Scaled Nurturer, so we have 4 mana for the Immolator. And then maybe we can just do the Thrakkus or the Young Blue Dragon with the Adventure side, I would think. Yeah, I think Young Blue Dragon is the best here. We can do Adventure or the other side to activate the Lae'Zel. Don't want to highlight Lae'Zel too much because that is my win condition, and the opponent can see it. We don't even need to attack here to win the game. They know that I have Young Blue Dragon. They don't know that I have the Dragonborn Immolator, so they know that we can hit them to the face for 5 damage, but they don't know that we have another dragon here. So with 1 mana, they need a Patriarch's Humiliation in their hand, or they lose the game. And we draw another Thrakkus anyway. Perfect. So if they do oh, they don't have Counterspell Magic, so I don't think that there's anything they can do here. I think we do Adventure side Young Blue Dragon, and then if they don't have removal for Lae'Zel, they probably just lose the game here, I would think. So let's do Adventure side first, draw a card, see what we draw, just to make sure. Hit damage to the face. Land. Doesn't do anything for us here. It gives us 11 mana. And we use 2, so that'd be 9. Yeah, I guess the mana is actually okay here, so it gives us 1 extra mana to work with. Then we do Young Blue Dragon for the win, and then if they do anything for the Young Blue Dragon to kill Lae'Zel, then... Alright, we win! Damage to the face if Lae'Zel gets us there. Alright, that's a pretty clever way to win. We didn't need to attack into their big Dread Lenorms, we just kind of avoided them for the most part. Trading the Draconic Muralists and going in for a suicidal attack was what won us the game there with the Lae'Zel, so... So yeah, Draconic Muralist can get you a lot of value if you are in a sort of stalled board state and you just need another dragon of any kind. You can just attack in, even if they have a quality block to get rid of it. You just want to play out another dragon and get your value, so... Alrighty then, well that was a mouthful, that game, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Alrighty then, another match with the Dragon deck. So this hand is probably too risky to keep. Choose your weapon doesn't do anything for us on turn 3 unless they have a flying creature out already. Which they very well could if they play like a Hippogriff turn 4 if they're like a white deck, but I think I have to mull this. I need some better mana here. Alright, this is the keep. The Prism at least gives us red mana. We can do Young Blue Dragon to draw turn 2. Or the Prism turn 2. And then we can do Innkeeper turn 3 maybe. And then I think Ambitious Dragonborn is not good to have in the opening hand, so let's get rid of that. Alright, well, having both of their blue mana already is kind of awkward, but the Prism makes it a bit less awkward, so I think that's still okay. Alright, so there's our red mana. I think that we still just go ahead and do the Young Blue Dragon Scry, then draw. I don't think that the Captain is what we need right now. After Jaheira specializes, it can deal with the Hobgoblin Captain really well, so I don't think that's the card that we need right now with the board as it is. So yeah, a really slow start for us, a fast start for the opponent. Improvised weaponry is not looking too good here because Jaheira will not die to it unless we do like a chump block Innkeeper, then do the weaponry. Then again, it's sorcery speed, so I can't even do that. So, I would have to attack with the Innkeeper, hope that they decide to block with the Jaheira when they have the Dragonborn Looter already, which they're not going to do, so I think that we just go ahead and play our red mana and we just go ahead and draw a card here. Warcaller's not bad, so let's go ahead and play that, and then we can give maybe another future creature that we draw haste. Young Blue Dragon would be great with haste, but we already played it out of our hands, so nothing we can do about that. I doubt that they use like a removal spell on the Warcaller, but if they do, that's actually alright for us. We could still improvise weaponry maybe next turn if they play something out, or we can just do it on the looter before they can get the looting value there. If they attack in with the looter and then they can't like tap and loot in response, then I probably do the weaponry next turn on the looters. Alright, so they'll kill the Prism, but thankfully it's not really going to hurt us at this point, because we already have all the colors of mana that we need. We only don't have... The only colors that we don't have right now... excuse me, my throat. The only colors of mana that we don't have right now is double red for the Fireball. So I can only do... I mean, I could do 2 spells with the treasure token generation. And then I can still play out the young blue dragon on the next turn. I guess that's worth doing. I guess the question is, do I want to do 2 creatures in this turn, or do I just want to do weaponry and kill the looter? I think that we just do this, and then we do the weaponry. Kill the looter, make sure they can't get their free card draw, because they don't have very many cards in hand right now, so I'm okay with that. And then let's move the combat. Do we want to attack? No. I think that we wait and give the extraordinaire haste. The swashbuckling dragon, rah rah rah. Okay, so we wouldn't have been able to kill the Skanos with the improvised weaponry anyway, so yeah, that's just is what it is. I think that we don't block here. I think that we just do this. We take 4, we can block the Skanos next turn when they, or we can block the Skanos or the Jaheira next turn when they do the pump effect, and we can prevent more damage that way, so. Dragon's Fire doesn't quite get there. We don't have a 4-power dragon yet. Okay, so I think we just have to play the young blue dragon now. Attacking in with the swashbuckler doesn't really do anything, obviously, so get out a creature, gain some life, and hope for the best here. Probably equip the goggles to something here, then attack in with the pump value. They definitely want to draw cards here. They probably go ahead and specialize into blue so they can give a Jaheira flying, I would guess. Okay. So let's block there. I guess we might as well block here as well. Then we'll make them think that we have another creature in hand with this. I'm very surprised that they didn't equip the goggles there, but they could have done that pre-combat and then specialize in the blue with the Skanos and then give the Jaheira flying. Force me to chump with the young blue dragon instead. I mean, it's possible that they don't have a blue card in their hand right now, but if they do have blue in their hand, that would have been what they should have done, I would think. Would have had us pretty much dead on board to whatever they want to do. Choose your weapon is interesting. And we can combo it with the Dragon's Fire as well. We have enough mana for both. We do choose your weapon first on the young blue dragon, and then we do Dragon's Fire to kill the other creature. Yeah, I think that's what we have to do here. No attacks, we can't really attack into them. If they don't have removal, then maybe we have a chance. Band together basically wins them the game here on the spot. Yeah, if they do band together to kill the blue dragon, then attack in with the pump effect, we're basically dead here no matter what we do, so. We could get choose your weapon to still trigger on top of the stack, I guess, but yeah, Dragon's Fire can still kill that with the even with the first strike pumping type effect, I guess, but so yeah, I guess what we have to do here is we have to do this. It won't die to the Skanos, and then we do Dragon's Fire on Jaheira. Choose your weapon. Do this so it survives the Skanos, and then we do Dragon's Fire now to kill the Jaheira. What? No, cancel. Jesus Christ. The order of these triggers is just very bad. And then we choose the dragon. There we go. So we got out of that situation by the skin of our teeth. Even though Dragon's Fire was trying to screw me over there with the order of the what it was asking me to do. So Draconic Lore wouldn't be bad here, but I think we do Extraordinaire, get the treasure out. Then we have 4 mana for the Draconic Lore with the treasure that we get out of it. So do this, do the treasure, attack in here. Do we want to give double strike? We do 6, we do 10 damage. I don't think that's enough damage to justify, so let's just do this and turn. And then if they have removal for any of our creatures in some fashion, then we can do Draconic Lore in response to that. Okay, so they get some red mana, so probably a red deck of some kind. They probably equip the goggles to the druid, so that way if they attack in here, then at least if we don't have a blocker for them, then they can get in and draw a card still. I don't know if there's any 1 mana red spells that they can really use here. Maybe they have a Kobold Warcaller in hand that they want to keep around for more specializing effects, but that's the only 1 mana red 1-drop that I can think of. Okay, pass to attackers. They're not going to do anything here. It's instant speed interaction, so whatever they have is instant speed. We do that. Pilgrim's Eye can pick up another mana to give us, after casting it, 3 mana, but then we can't play anything else, and that's not good for us. So Skanos ourselves would be good. Lae'Zel might be the best card to play out now, however. We can trade for the Druid of the Emerald Grove, and then we play Lae'Zel, then Skanos to kind of face hit him in the face with that. Yeah, let's go ahead and maybe we can just attack first. See if they trade the Druid with the Swashbuckler here. Don't have the mana for Fireball, but then I think we can play maybe the Owlbear, so we have a blocker for the Druid. And we draw a card, maybe we draw a land to play out. Okay, Rabble-Rouser's not bad either. Yeah, if I played the Lae'Zel, I don't want to block with it because it only has 2 toughness, and then they would get the free card draw from the Druid, so I think I'm okay with doing this instead. They have their own Lae'Zel. Unfortunately for them, we have some more action in hand than they might be able to handle, so I could have played the Pilgrim's Eye, then got double red, but we don't need to play the Fireball just yet. We can still attack in with Dragon and Owlbear and hit them pretty hard and force them to trade, maybe. Then I can maybe chump block with the Pilgrim's Eye and play out the Rabble-Rouser, perhaps. Yeah, if we attack in with everything, I don't think that they're going to be in a position to just take all the damage here. So let's see what they do. They take it, and then we do Pilgrim's Eye chump block. And then take action for the red mana for the Fireball. And we play out the Rabble-Rouser for another early game blocker here, or another blocker on the ground for the Druid. So they could deal some damage to our face. Miram's not going to be enough to get them there, so 6 mana deals a lot of damage to our face, but it's not going to be enough to kill us here. And the Fireball can still win the game for us, so... Yeah, the Fireball is going to be able to kill the Druid, and then we just get in for the lethal damage here. They can activate the Lantern, I guess is maybe what they're holding up, or what had a priority there. Yeah, so they don't really have anything that they can reliably do here. We just do Fireball, deal 2 damage to them, then get in with the rest of our stuff and kill them. So let's do that. They have no cards in hand. They can't do anything about this, so even if we did damage to ourselves, it's not going to be enough to kill us. So get in with everything. Good game from the opponent, so GG's. And we get double teamed, so we can play some more of that in a future turn if they somehow survived, but not going to be relevant here. Right, so that was a very close game. They thought that they had the game won. By the skin of our skin teeth, or chinny chin chin, or skinny skin teeth, or whatever it is. They thought that they had the game won when they had the Skanos and the Jaheira attacking there. Because I can order the way that I casted the choose your weapon first and then do the Dragon's Fire after with the increased power from our blue dragon, we kind of stole a game there. We probably should not have won that since they had... I mean, they have an awesome deck. The decks that we lost to before were not as strong as this one. Yeah, they had Jaheira, they had Skanos, they had a Druid of the Emerald Grove for ramp, they had a Warcaller for the haste. They also had a Miram, which is pretty awesome. A Lozan with the Miram is amazing. But yeah, that was an amazing game that we probably shouldn't have won, but we did just because we got a very good synergy with the Choose Your Weapon and the Dragon's Breath. So maybe Choose Your Weapon has been doing some work for us here. It's been the main reason that we've won the matches that we have. So in my opinion, Choose Your Weapon is a main deckable card in this format if you're like a beefy creature deck. So alright, and one more win gets us to 1,400 gems and above the 1,500 mark for our sweet little draft packs here. So, whew, man, that game was a mouthful. I did not think I was going to win that one. So let's go ahead and move on to the next match and see what this one has in store for us here. Never mind, I don't have to pause because the opponent is right there waiting for us. Baltus Cole. And some kind of scribbling dragonborn, it looks like there. It's a very slow hand. A very slow hand, and the opponent goes first. I mean, we can get the blue mana for the adventure side of this, and then slow them down after weaponry. Turn 3 can maybe hit something. Then turn 4, maybe we slow them down a bit more with the Sword Coast Serpent on like a 5-drop that they have. It's risky, but I think it's worth doing. We have the means to slow them down at least and buy some time. Oh, that was an excellent draw right there. Let's do this turn 1 since it's a tapped land. So turn 2 Scale Nurture, turn 3 Weaponry. Or we can even do turn 3 Ambitious Dragonborn, but that doesn't do us much good though with the Nurturer, so... Yeah, so turn 4 turn 4 Ambitious, or turn 3 Ambitious Dragonborn, not what we want to do here, so... Let's do our own Nurture to match here, and then turn 3 we do Weaponry on the Scale Nurture that they have. Then turn 4 we can do Sword Coast Serpent Adventure side, maybe. Or we can do Fireball on whatever they ramp into. Alright, so so that kind of sucks, but we have an improvised weaponry to match them, so I guess it's kind of a one-for-one deal here. Probably hurts us more than them, but probably hurts us more than them. How do they play that out with... Oh, I guess they scaled Nurturer with one of the mana and then Treasures. And yeah, okay. Makes sense now that I look at it a bit further. So I can't do the 4-drop this turn, but I can weaponry the scaled Nurturer that they have. I don't want to do it on the Barbarian because then they sack in response and I lose my treasure token, which I really want. So Scale Nurture gets rid of their ramp, gets rid of a dragon card, and if we draw an untapped land, we can do Fireball on them if we really want to. They don't really have a big creature just yet to go ahead and smack around with Sword Coast Serpent or anything like that, so I think we do this, and then we do Hobgoblin Captain, I think. The next turn we can do the Mirrorless, or maybe a Fireball if they play something big. This is a safe bet, so let's just do this. It can block both of their creatures. And then, if we need to, we have the treasure token for the instant speed effect from the Sword Coast Serpent. If they play something big here, I'd probably Fireball it next turn instead of doing the Sword Coast Serpent. If they attack in here, I'd probably block the Null Hunter and get rid of it. Yep, and if they want to use a combat trick here, I am okay with that. Then if they ramp into something with the Barbarian, I can Sword Coast Serpent it to just put it back in their hand so they can't have it on the field. Okay, so we're not going to do the Sword Coast Serpent because they can sack in response, and then I lose the creature side of this, which would be very bad. So I think it has to be the Mirrorless, and then I can play out the Ambitious Dragonborn next turn and have it be a 4/4 creature. And then even if they have removal for the Mirrorless here, I still get to put another dragon card in my hand, so it's looking pretty good. They don't have very many cards in their hand. We have dragons for the Draconic Lore to be cheaper, so can potentially use my treasure token on that. I'm hoping that they play something big that I can either Fireball or use the Sword Coast Serpent on, just to try and get them to waste a couple of turns here. So I do that, and then maybe we just attack first and see what they do in response. Alright, so they're going to take it. They know that we have some instant speed interaction here. Maybe not a surprise, but... And then I think we just play the Ambitious Dragonborn. Sword Coast Serpent we still need double blue for, so and a 4/4 creature is still pretty good, so let's just play it out and get it on the field. And we still have the Sword Coast Serpent effect in play if we want it. I think this is worth it. Never mind, I don't want to do it on the Barbarian because they can sack in response, so... If they want to get in for 4, that's okay. They can sack whenever they want to. There's no mana sink for it, so we can't really afford to do the Sword Coast Serpent on the Barbarian because then we lose the creature side of it. Okay. And if they attack in here, I'm okay with that. If not, that's okay too. I think that playing the Draconic Lore is more important here, but I think we just... Yeah, I think we just hold up our mana, I guess. Okay, so we just play the land, and then... I think we just have to draw into something with Draconic Lore. Maybe we can attack in with a Muralist first, and then we can get like a young red dragon for some treasure to get double blue for the Sword Coast Serpents. Yeah, that's not bad. Let's just go ahead and do that. If they want to trade here, I'm okay with it. Okay, they don't. And then... I guess if I'm going to Fireball, I might Fireball on their turn. All these effects that we have are instant speed, so... Let's wait until their turn and see what they do. One card in hand, a lot of mana. Do they attack? They probably have to attack at some point. If they do attack, then I can attack with both of my dragons next turn. They don't do anything. So I think the safe bet is just do this right now. Draw the cards and get the card draw going effect. Then we can still Fireball and it's our own turn, so... Thankfully they're not in counterspell colors to do anything about what we have, so... Quite like that. Another green mana. Pilgrim's Eye can get some blue mana, and then Prism can fix for the other blue. Probably the best thing to do. Let's go ahead and play the Prism first and see if we draw blue mana. If they have removal here, they might use it on one of our dragons, but... Okay, so we don't get the blue mana there. Choose your weapon, however, can be great with the Owlbear. Maybe the Sword Coast Serpent if we make it unblockable. Yeah, if we get 8 mana up, then we can do Fireball and choose your weapon in the same turn and make the Sword Coast Serpent unblockable and get it in there for lots of damage, so... Let's do the better long-term play here and get the blue mana out for this. Yep, let's get our blue mana. Get the blue mana out, and then we have the instant speed effect available if we want it. And then... let's just keep attacking in with the Muralists, I think. Alright, they don't block it. They really don't want us to get a dragon of our choice, so... they are kind of scared of that, I think, and we're getting in free damage each turn because of it. Okay, so Owlbear's fine. Not the best target for the Sword Coast Serpent to bring back to their hands, so... let's make sure that they don't draw the card. And get rid of the Owlbear Shepherd, so... since they have 8 power now, let's get rid of the Owlbear Shepherd. They shouldn't have any instant speed interaction to deal with it, so... they can sack the Reckless Barbarian to play it out again, but... we prevent them from drawing a card this turn, so I quite like it. Then let's go ahead and play out some more red mana, and then... do we want to just do the Serpent now, maybe? We can attack in with the Muralists again. And then we can maybe choose your weapon to save anything that we attack with. I think that's a good play. Let's attack in with everything and force their hand. They have 2 mana up. They might have... there is a red combat trick for 2 mana. They could also have some removal that could kill something here in response. Maybe the Muralists. So... and Reckless Barbarian would allow them to use Dragon's Fire to kill the ambitious Dragonborn, so it is a bit risky to use Choose Your Weapon here. And they're going to take it. And then we can just Fireball for the win here and see what they do in response, so... do they have a way to save themselves? No, they don't. Alright, so we get the win. They were maybe banking that we didn't have the Fireball, and then their next turn they could attack in for... maybe they play a couple combat tricks or ways to pump up their creatures. So yeah, we got in for a surprise win there. Maybe not a surprise win, but we got in for a solid win. We just kind of... I don't know, our opponent took a lot of damage from the Draconic Muralists just continually attacking in there, and they didn't want us to get the rummaging through our library value with that. So that's what kind of did them in here, so... we got the Magic 4 wins, the Fantastic Four, the Final Four. I don't know, it's Final Four isn't really relevant here, but the Fantastic Four wins. Now we're going to get enough gems to play another draft in the future at some point, so quite happy about that. I'm also quite happy that our deck is kind of turning it around after a very slow start. And our opponent is yet again waiting for us, so let's see. Oh, and it looks like they have the, what is it, the Ugin, I think is what its name is. The legendary Planeswalker Dragon or something like that. I can't quite remember. Anywho. Draconic Lore is not great. It's a very slow hand. Probably not worth keeping here. We need some early plays here. I think we can mull that. This is a bit better. We have Pilgrim's Eye if we draw into a land that can get us some extra mana and another color that we need, like green. Maybe blue if we don't draw any green, and then we can play this. On the other hand, I can also bottom Draconic Lore and just play out all these 4 cards. Yeah, I think we have to bottom Draconic Lore because we can get the blue mana, but it's going to be a while before we can cast it, so... this is the safer option. Alright, so we can get the green mana with the Scaled Nurturer. I guess we just do this turn 1 and get it out right away. Then if we draw an untapped land, we can go ahead and get Rabble Rouser out with haste. We do not, so let's go ahead and do that. No attacks. I don't think that we want to block here. I think we just take the 1 damage and we don't want to give them the free card draw either, so... looks like they're probably red-black sacrifice and some of a mill plan, I guess, too, so... and we can attack in with the Rabble Rouser here pretty effectively, so I'll do this. So we could Dragon's Fire, but we can also just attack in with the Rabble Rouser. Yeah, we're getting kind of mana screwed here, but let's at least get the double team value right now. And then could give the Swashbuckler haste, but I don't know if it makes any difference because we play Pilgrim's Eye turn 3 if we want, so let's get in there. Get double team. Unsurprisingly, they do not block with the Gray Slod there. Null Hunting Party is going to be kind of difficult for us to deal with because we do not have a dragon to do the thing. So I think we need to do this pre-combat. Hopefully we draw something good here. Maybe a land would help out a lot. That is not good. Yeah, we are in a really rough spot. We are really mana screwed here. And we can't get the Scaled Nurturer out until next turn, so that's really bad as well. Yeah, we're in a really rough spot here. don't want to hold priority there. Let's just move to the next turn. Yeah, we need an untapped land or we're essentially dead. We're probably already dead. They are just outpacing us way too much, so... Okay, they get double team value, which is very bad for us, but there's nothing we can do about that, so... I think that we just have to kill Guildsworn Prowler and just get it off the field. Trade with the Grey Slad and give something haste. Guess the Skanos of haste is probably the best bet on in the distant future if we survive here. Skanos with a pump effect could maybe win us the game if we're lucky. Probably not going to get lucky, but we'll see. 2 lands and a bunch of cards that we can't play is very bad for us, so just hoping for the best. Yep, and I think that we're dead here. The drainage is going to get us. No Hunting Party is also going to get us, so... Scaled Nurture doesn't really do it, so... Yeah, I think we just Dragon's Fire, kill a creature, and then, yeah, we can't really do much, so... I can chump block, but that doesn't really accomplish anything, so let's at least just do this, I guess. Can reveal a dragon to kill a Null Hunting Party, I guess, so let's reveal the Skanos. And let's kill a Null Hunting Party. Reveal Skanos so we can kill it. We probably still lose here. We can improvised weaponry, the Shadow Heart, if we draw an untapped land, but not really liking my chances no matter what, so... Now we just die. So, they do the 1 life drainage, and then we're dead. Yep. So, GG's. You know, it happens. You know, we just got outpaced there. We had a very... We mulliganed, and then we went into another hand that was kind of risky, but at least we could potentially have early game plays, and then we didn't draw the lands that we needed. So, Mana Screw killed us just like Mana Flood killed us a couple decks ago, so it happens. But we got the 4 wins. That's still pretty solid, I would think, even though our deck, I think, was a bit better than 4 wins, but it's still a pretty good deck. The biggest difference between the previous deck that we did with Dragons is that the previous deck had more ramp, more fixing, and many more early game plays to help us curve out. And this one was more of like a high-end deck with all the high-end cards. So, alright, so let's open some packs and see what would be the pack 1 pick ones here. Alright, so this is the... Oh, I accidentally clicked there, but it was an easy Horn of Valhalla there, and then Lulu would also be a great card in a white deck as well, so... Yeah, Horn of Valhalla, wrong to go, or hard to go wrong with that one, and I didn't really get a look at any of the other cards very well before I accidentally misclicked there. More mistakes from your Let's Playing Lovebat here, so... Let's move to the next pack here. I guess the other cards probably weren't going to be in consideration there for the first pick, because the other cards were just really strong, so... what to take here? Pilgrim's Eye would be the safest pick. It goes well into any deck. Any sacrifice deck it does great in. It does well for mana fixing, for chump blocking. Does well with the Manticore and black as well if you get enough 1/1 type creatures for that. Gut is a great card, but it's 6 mana, and then Specializing is 5 mana, so it's a big mana sink to try and make it work. And it's, you know, it's only a 4/3 when it gets out, and red tends to be a bit more aggressive, or high-end dragons that are probably better than Gut, so Favored Enemy, not really what you want in the first pick. It's more of a constructed type card, I would think, when you know what you're up against, or maybe a best of 3 card as a sideboard card, because then if you go best of 3, then you know what your opponent's already playing, and then you can decide if this is worth it. I might go for the Swashbuckler Extraordinaire, but I think the Pilgrim's Eye is just the safest pick that I would probably take if I had only these available, so... Yep, I can go Pilgrim's Eye there. It's just the safest pick. Swashbuckler Extraordinaire needs the right kind of deck to get the most out of it. Oh, this is a tough one. A very tough one. So we have 2 good green and then 2 good black cards here, and then a pretty good blue card that I wouldn't take over any of these, but... Oya Minartok? Or, yeah, Oya Minartok. That would be definitely the best pick, but if you take the Skullport Merchant and then hope to wheel the Shambling Ghast, that might be the best play for a draft format. Dread the Norm is pretty awesome too, and it's a great build around in the Dragon deck, and also with the Raga Draga being the 7 mana. I'd probably go with the Werebear here, but if this was like Pack 2 or Pack 3, I might take the Dread the Norm if I had the right build rounds for it. But Pack 1, Pick 1, I'd go with the Oya Minartok. So, Skullport Merchant would be great too with the Shambling Ghast on the wheel if I can get it. But all 4 of those are great cards for the right decks, so... Alright, I thank everyone for watching, and I hope everyone had lots of fun. Fun for everyone. My show is fun for the whole family, I would think. Yes, I do occasionally use a curse word here and there, but nothing that's beyond like PG-13 type swear words, so... I like to think that lots of people can enjoy my content and my experiences that I share with all these games and with Magic the Gathering and different things, so... Hope that everyone enjoyed it. Hope everyone has a great rest of the weekend, wherever you are, and... As always, take care.